happiness is the only way I can describe my name. It can be any situation. You know, the snake and ladder game. The snake has become very tiny in my life now. The ladder is long, so I can keep going higher and higher. And even if I fall down, if I come down, it is only a short step, because the awareness comes in. I recognize it is all an experience I came for. I'm so grateful that I got that experience.
Developing that internal strength to do the right thing, to say the right thing, learning to say no to obviously what does not matter. And this is all a journey from 2000 to 2025. From trying to be in control of everything around me, I have just accepted everything as everything happens as a divine plan. Just focus on right actions and the right intentions, things would just happen.
It's a continuous progress for me, where you will become less of judgments. My decision making has become strong. So I'm always looking myself to inspire rather than impress. So most of the things which I've been doing before was to impress people, but that impress has become now inspire. You have to radiate the energy from yourself. So the change has to come within myself. This is what I've realized.
It really brought clarity to me, increased my confidence, and made me fearless for a lot of things.
Everybody is a good soul, but it's just that the people, that negativity, you don't attract those. And even if they come, they tend to go away. The meditation kind of I say that it's like a kavach around us, the meditation kavach.
Hello friends, happy morning and wonderful evening to all the participants connecting from across the globe. Welcome to day 27 of our Yogam program. So we all had a great session yesterday, right? From the team of doctors joining from one of the hospitals from Andhra Pradesh. So yes, let's continue the same momentum. Today also we have an exciting insights from one of the guest leader sharing after the meditation today. And before that, let me hand it over to Rakesh to discuss on how we can be more mindful through this practice of meditation and then take us into the meditation. Okay, over to you, Rakesh.
Thank you, Pradeep. There's a couple of monks walking through the forest. They come near a river, they have to cross it, and they see a woman struggling to cross, being afraid. She wants to desperately go to the other side of the river, but she's too afraid to cross. The river is flowing. Out of the blue, the senior monk among the two, the one young monk and the senior monk, suddenly picks her up and then jumps into the river and walks across the river along with the young monk and drops her off, and she goes her way, and they both start walking wherever they wanted to go, back to their monastery. About half an hour passes silently, 45 minutes, an hour. Suddenly the young monk comes to, and just lights up to the senior monk and says, "How can you do this? Our monastic rules say we don't touch women. We don't hold women. You are supposed to be away from it and yet you picked her up, you walked all the way across the river, and then you clinged on to her, you dropped her, and then you went. How can you do it when, what is the teaching telling us? The senior monk comes back and says, I carried her for just that 5 minutes to cross the river. You've been carrying her for more than an hour. So friends, mindfulness, as we continue to practice meditation, is about living in the present moment. In our practice of meditation, we do two things. One, we experience that emptiness. We drop all the thoughts about the future, of the past. We completely become empty. In that, we are experiencing that emptiness, that a field of infinite intelligence, significant source of intuition, the ability to manifest, and many, many other things. Along with that, what happens is we become fully present. Becoming present and present moment awareness is being mindful. While emptiness and the experience of that infinite intelligence helps us to become fully present, what happens outside of meditation is you start becoming fully present, becoming non-judgmental. So mindfulness is a result of a regular practice of meditation. Mindfulness has many, many, many benefits when we start practicing it. You are becoming present, you are becoming non-judgmental in everything that you're doing. Walk when you're walking, eat when you're eating, play when you're playing. The biggest transformation that happened for me is because of applying this mindfulness on my everyday activity. That's what happens for everyone who's sincerely practicing meditation. In your interactions, we talked about the 4 agreements. Not being, being impeccable with your words, not making any assumptions, not taking things personally, and doing the best that you can at that point in time. Now, to apply all of this, any of this or all of this, it happens when you are mindful. Relationships becomes great when you are practicing mindfulness, when you are fully present. You are talking to your colleague, you're in a meeting. Now you are fully present. You are experiencing everything that what they are saying. You don't have to ask twice because you are listening with your entire self. Your mind is not going, what happened in yesterday's meeting, what happened, what happened to that colleague earlier today. You're fully present and you're listening with everything. You're fully aware. Meditation builds significant awareness. So when you are fully present, when you are non-judgmentally listening to everything, then you are becoming a lot more productive. You don't have to ask again and again. You don't waste your time. When something is being told, you recognize, okay, this is important and this is not important. So the awareness builds in as you practice meditation and you develop mindfulness. Your family, you're becoming non-judgmental. You're meeting your colleague or somebody in your friend's circle. You don't go back to what happened previously. Of course, you had some experience with them previously. You would have made some conclusions. You made some judgments about what happened in your previous engagement with that person. When you are mindful, you take everything as completely new. Become empty cup. Yes, something would have happened previously, but what's happening today? What are they trying to say? What is it that they are going to contribute? So you're taking it completely in the present moment without taking any judgment of whatever the past experience you had with them. Your son comes and tells, I have this great idea. You don't stop and tell, hey, you've been doing this forever and ever. You can't, have great ideas. Go with what you're comfortable with. Because then you are judging based on what your experience with your son previously. Close relationships. Mindfulness is the best way to have transformation through these relationships. Being non-judgmental, you don't carry what happened in the past in your conversations with everyone. The second thing that happens is you develop curiosity. You're no longer judging. You're no longer looking from the past. You're fully curious of what can I learn from this today. You're going to a feedback session with your manager. You're not trying to judge what happens. You're curious to say, what can I learn from him today or her today? How can I improve? What is it, some new project that I can pick up today? When you have no judgment about what's happening today, you're curious to know what can I do, what can I learn completely. Your awareness about everything in that moment. When you're talking to somebody, you're having a one-on-one with your team. You're fully present, not trying to talk on the phone, not trying to look at your emails. You're fully present. You listen to that person fully. Their tone, the way they're talking, the way they are expressing. Because many things that we learn about another person, not just through verbal, what they're speaking. So being present fully, non-judgmentally means that you are listening with everything. You're being present and you're able to grasp everything. A lot of things that we talk about intuition. It's not just about what happens during meditation. Meditation, of course, is a great way to connect with that intelligent field. Of course, you get, a lot of messages. But when you are being mindful, when you are practicing mindfulness, when you are, doing your meetings mindfully, when you are doing, walking in your garden, when you're walking in your neighborhood mindfully, things come up and you start recognizing, oh, this is something that I can do. You don't ignore whatever that's happening, because when you're judging, that means you have already made up your mind about something. You had some past experience, you've said, okay, this is it. So when something comes up as an opportunity for you, you've already prejudged, you discard it. You must still discard it, but with the full awareness of what's happening in the present moment. So you're able to pick up newer opportunities. Your team keeps doing something, instead of judging, okay, they always are doing that. You might find something new in that meeting. It might change the way we do things. So mindful meetings, mindful communication, mindful listening. We heard about emotional intelligence being fully aware, self-awareness, self-expression, developing empathy, engagement, inspiration. All of it starts with mindfulness. You develop empathy because you are fully present with the other person. You're non-judgmental. You're not trying to sympathize with the other person's situation. Instead, you are fully aware of and recognize their completeness, their ability to move things based on whatever the situation is. Self-expression comes when you are mindful. There is this, this great quote: between stimulus and response, there is a gap, and in that gap is our ability to choose a response. And in that response lies our freedom. You no longer feel tied to situations. That gap is that mindfulness. You have that ability to take a moment when your colleague accuses you something or tells you something which triggers. When you are mindful, you suddenly start observing, okay, where is this coming from? Why am I getting triggered? Why am I getting angry? And that ability to take that pause comes when you're practicing mindfulness. Fully mindful, we have the unique ability to observe our own thoughts and feelings. It's called metacognitive ability. So while being aware of what others are saying, what others are talking, we also become fully aware of what we are thinking, what we are feeling. Yes, in that moment you might get angry, but that point in time you start becoming aware that, hey, I'm getting triggered. Where is this coming from? Do I really need to respond in this way? So the mindfulness starts with, of course, the being present with others, but it also becomes being present with ourselves. Helps us to be spontaneous. Many things. You may go into a meeting with a lot of planning and say, this is how I'm going to talk about, and suddenly somebody else talks about the same ideas. Now, if you are not mindful, then you are pushed. You want to say what you have already come to say, even though somebody's already said it. But if you are mindful, then you start recognizing, okay, the same thing that I want to say, how can I build on top of it? And you actually add value to what the other person said rather than trying to repeat the same thing, which adds no value. So mindfulness makes us a lot more productive. Patriji always spoke about meditation helps us to live our life fully. Living our life fully means experience everything fully. So when you're eating a good rasgulla or good jamun, whatever that you're eating, you fully experience it. You enjoy it fully, not trying to think, okay, I have to rush to a meeting now. I just have to grab it. I just eat it because I'm given this. Now you're not experiencing that fully. But when you are mindful, you experience it fully. And then you no longer have that craving for that anymore because you have experienced it fully. You go out in the nature, experiencing that wonderful air, wonderful trees around you, the beauty of things. While we've been in this world talked about a lot of multitasking, but when we end up multitasking, we experience none of them fully. So we end up keep doing the same thing again and again. So mindfulness, friends, is, in my experience, is a result of a sincere practice of meditation. That's the fundamental step that we start when we practice meditation. Meditation and mindfulness are two separate things. Meditation delivers mindfulness, but meditation itself helps us to go beyond. Now, they're two complementary. You practice more meditation, you become a lot more mindful. And as you live mindfully, your meditation experience becomes a lot more powerful. So both are required. Patriji calls it a two wings of the bird. And mindfulness is truly a way to transform ourselves. When you're driving mindfully. Whatever that happens, now you have the ability to learn from that situation. If you are feeling you have been victimized and something that comes up during your interaction or when you're doing mindful activity, because your ability to learn from that, you have the ability to observe what you're feeling and thinking, you have an opportunity to learn. So if our purpose of life is to learn and experience our life and enjoy our life fully, mindfulness is a way. And meditation is a greatest tool that we can to develop mindfulness in our day-to-day activity. So let's get into our meditation again, friends. As every day we are doing breath mindfulness meditation, observing our simple natural breath, sitting comfortably. So relax. As you can see, anyone is new, we start with heart elevation process to bring ourselves into coherence. A very simple practice which we do for a few minutes by bringing up elevated emotions like love, gratitude, compassion. And once we bring those emotions by either remembering any of the past events where we experienced this, or a future event where we want to experience this, and then we imagine that energy going all around, touching everything and everybody, becoming one with everything and everybody. It helps us to go into our breath mindfulness meditation, Anapanasati, more deeper. And Anapanasati is about observing a simple natural breath, taking any point in the nose. And as you are observing the breath, your mind becomes empty, which is the goal of the meditation. And we connect with that intelligence. Let's relax, friends.
Dear friends, dear masters, with spectrum mode, eyes closed, with your hands over your chest area, and resting your attention on your loving heart. Take a slow, relaxing breath and feel your heart center. Feel the seed of all emotions. Nurturing all life. With its energies of compassion, kindness, gratitude. Recollect an experience from your past, or simply imagine yourself experiencing something that moves you into a higher emotion. Touch a flower, hug a tree, play with a child. Serving and helping somebody who is in need. Whatever that may be, dear friend, that moves you into a higher emotion, imagine and feel that energy. The more you experience this energy of love, of joy, the more coherent you become. The more you go into acceptance of things. The more connected you become. And allow yourself to direct this energy onto everything and everyone on this planet to help them heal. Where your attention goes, there the energy flows. Relive that moment and radiate that energy. And slowly, let's go into breath-mindfulness meditation. With your fingers into fingers, hands comfortably rested in your lap. Observe your normal, natural in-breath and the out-breath. We are going into powerful group meditation. So, your normal, natural in-breath and the out-breath, dear friends.
When you observe your breath, the mind becomes less and less of thought. You experience greater calmness inside of you, all around you. become aware of the emptiness. Inside of you, all around you, as you merge into your breath. All emptiness is energy. This is the quantum field of energy, the field limitless possibilities. The longer you stay aware of this emptiness and energy, the more the longer you stay aware of this emptiness, this energy, the more focused you become, the more coherent you become. If you find yourself distracted in thought, go back to observing your breath. Merge into the emptiness of yourself. This is your divine self. The longer you stay aware, This is your divine self, this greater mind. Everybody and everything is connected in this field of energy. The more you stay aware of this emptiness, nothingness, merge into this energy, the more connected you become. The more one you become. Friends, it's truly an honor and privilege to be experiencing this life at this time of history. Can you express gratitude? To all things and everyone. Gratitude to your parents, teachers, mentors, to your family, friends, colleagues. gratitude to everything you use, the technology, the system, the company, the governments, and to this grand nature, the bird, the fish, and the animals. Gratitude is the ultimate state of receivership. Recollect your experiences from the session. And whenever you're ready, keep your hands on your eyes for 5 seconds. And then we open your eyes.
Hope you had a wonderful meditation. Yes, Pradeep.
Okay. So there he is. So friends, as it is a Saturday today, I think by now you might be familiarized with our program structure. So we have a guest speaker joining with us today, Hemant Wadhwani. He's a seasoned, so a brief intro about him. He's a seasoned technology leader currently working as a director of site reliability engineering team at Red Hat. He has over 21 years of experience in the IT industry and has extensive experience of building high-performing empathetic teams in various departments in Red Hat. He is based out of Pune and associated with Buddha CEO Quantum Foundation from the last 2 years as a practitioner. Today, he joins us to share how meditation practice has influenced both his personal well-being and professional leadership journey. So welcome, Hemant sir. Over to you.
Sure, thank you. Am I audible?
Yes.
Awesome. So thanks a lot, Pradeep ji, for the introduction. And I think a few months ago, I was at an AMR in the Pyramid Valley, where Chandra sir was taking, the 5-day session. And when someone asked me, like, give your introduction, and I tried to give the introduction the same way that you gave, like talking about like I did this, I did that. But then there was somebody in the room, Mr. Naveen Prabhakar, and he asked like, "This is your role. This is not who you are. Tell us more about who you are." And I was blank at that time. Like I was not able to clearly think. And then I took it back and I tried to think like, okay, who I am, right? And in those sessions as well, I tried to think a bit about myself, right? And I think I'm again, this is a difficult question. Like if I go and ask you the same question, like it's easy for us to get into like talking about what we do, our roles and everything that we do in the society, right? But then it becomes very difficult to answer like who I am, right? So I think in very short, I would like to say like, yeah, I'm also a human being here with like all of you. So it's not something about I'm very special or I'm something different. I'm like a human being like all of you here in the room. I have a specific nature, and everyone have their own nature, and yeah, what defines us is like how we react, how we deal with others, right? Is very important, and that's how, if I want to define myself, I'm like somebody who cares about my ecosystem and also think about others before taking any actions. So that's a quick one about me. Talking about my meditation journey. So before attending the Buddha CEO for 40 days program, I tried to do it many times. Like, I tried to go with multiple apps, different people, different gurus. Okay. But I think nothing sustained for me for more than, say, a week time. Like nothing sustained for more than a week. But then, as the life progresses, like as my roles and responsibilities were increasing, there was things happening because I think about others a lot sometimes, right? So it started creating a lot of stress in my mind. Over a period of time, that stress actually became so high that I was like really looking for some help. Hey, I need to take care of it. And one day, one of my friend forwarded me this Buddha CEO's 40 days program registration link on WhatsApp. And believe me, that friend has not talked to me for more than 2 years. And suddenly a message comes from somebody, like, so it's more like, okay, there's an indication, there's a message coming for me, like, to look at, something which I was looking for actually. So I got automatically connected. And then when I joined that session, I think within the very first session, I think I got connected to the scientific method, which was, discussed by Chandra sir, and like he talked about meditation, very simple meditation. Because what I tried was like, mindfulness, and like taking deep breaths and, different type of things. But this was like very simple. So it was very easy for me to understand and then, and reflect on it, right? So I think that's something I started. I connected very quickly. And within few days, what I observed is like, I'm getting better sleep, which is a good symbol of that my stress is reducing. In fact, after the meditation session, I used to get very good sleep. I'll do the meditation early morning. I'll go for a walk, come back, and I used to sleep for like 20 to 25 minutes. And that sleep used to be like really, really like fulfilling for me actually, right? So I think I try to understand that this is helping me out. The other part which happened was, I think the books which were submitted or which were recommended in the talks was about like how these books can help us, right, in personal well-being and understanding meditation a bit more. So the first book that I picked up from those sessions was You Are the Placebo. So I think that book also started helping me to understand how the body that we have can heal ourselves, how we can heal ourselves. I know Rakesh said in the introduction today talked about like meditation to mindfulness, right? So it helped me, understand a bit more about like how the mind can help me to, solve my own problems. Because as I said, I was dealing with a lot of stress coming from different directions, like work, family, and all the stuff. And that stress definitely, stress is not good. Like I have physical reports I can show like how stress impacts people actually. Okay, so this was very, very important for me to go through that, understanding like how can I help myself, right? Now going back to the practice of meditation, right? So yes, the 40 days program was helpful. Reading the book was helpful, but then we have our life. Being in a role which needs a whole lot of your engagement, my engagement, travel or some personal or professional commitments or something used to come and my practice used to break. Okay, so in the past, So with 2 years, I might have been registered to most of the 40 days program, but I don't think so. I was able to like do all 40 days or at least 35 days out of it. Something will come up, like travel will come up or something will come up, right? So situations starting dragging me back in my previous state. Okay, but I had a understanding, like if I do meditation, it will definitely help me to come out of it. And I kept on trying as much as I can. And that's one thing I always like, try as much as I can to do something. But then slowly, as I said, like life and all the situations take us like into different directions, right? Most of the time. And if my practice was inconsistently consistent, that's how I say, because I still have intentions, I still try my best, but sometimes it was missing. And there was a big miss out for us for some time actually. And what happened, the stress start getting back in my mind again. And it started impacting my health parameters, like in a very, very negative way. I went for a full body checkup, and some of the parameters were really, really alarming. And doctor was great. This doctor was really awesome. I went to them and like he mentioned, like, hey, look, whatever is happening to you is basically because of stress. Your mind creates those stress signals and impacts your some of the body parts, related to abdomen. And one thing he asked me, like, there are two ways for you from here. One, you take care of your stress, or let the medicines take care of your body. That was very alarming. And I already read the book of You Are the Placebo in this. So I decided, no, I'm not going to go to the medicines. I'm trying to help myself first. Okay, and then continue my practice. So from that day, I think I became very, very serious, and I tried my best to do all the sessions. In fact, I attended a AMR program as well recently in May. But my I'll say practice became more consistent, more regular. And even if I join a 40-day program and I'm not able to make it at that time because of some things like my daughter's school or something, I come back and I make sure I use any of the 40-minute session or something, 30-minute session, and do it myself. But then practice is really, really helping me. For example, like when I have tested some of my parameters, which is like H1BAC, I'll be very open. It was at 6.4 many months ago, which means like I'm on the verge to get a diabetic person. Okay. But then with this practice, with this focus on like helping myself to heal, keeping myself, reseating myself that I'm happy, I'm healthy, and many of the stuff I start reseating myself and meditating them and like trying to keep my mind empty. I think it helped me to bring those parameters from 6.4 to 5.9. And I'm on a further journey to like get back. And one of my doctors was really surprised. Hey, how come you brought it back so quickly? So I think like this is something that's really helping, and I'm happy to share that this is happening. So it has a very good impact, I can say, on the health from a perspective. And I'm still continuing my journey, looking for another test in 3 months or 6 months from now to see how much I've improved in my things. But I believe that this is helping me and like helping my mind less stressed. And now this is about my I'll say personal benefits I'm getting from medicines. In my professional life, I think what I've realized and learned through all these programs and through this meditation and this 40 days program is like being spontaneous is something very critical for us, very important for us. And Rakesh had told about this in the morning. It's like you thought something, you went to the meeting and somebody else has an idea, and like, now what? Should I fight that it is my idea, or should I build on top of it, right? So that overthinking was also a key challenge I was facing at my professional level. So when we overthink, our decisions become slow. we become sometimes competitive, and it has its own challenges of not being able to sometimes push things quickly and faster. So this practice is also helping me to think less. Like, I'll be very honest, if I was in my previous mode, I would have made a full set of document before coming to this meeting, would have read it 3 times, 4 times, okay, and then come to this session to talk about it, just to make sure that I'm speaking what I want to share, right? I did that as well this time. I made a note, but I'm not reading through it right now, or I'm not very focused. I just made a note to make myself so that I tag those points and I'm just speaking to you folks openly and open-mindedly. So when I think less, I get more time to do stuff. So the pace at which I was doing things earlier has now further increased. The pace at which so spontaneously has helped me a lot to, be more myself, be quicker, less overthink, and then, help to move faster in the org as well. So yeah, I think this is my journey. I'm somebody who cannot talk a lot for us, so I speak less. So this is what I want to share with you folks, and I want to extend my thanks to this program. This year, I want to thank everyone who comes to this, a group meditation session, right? Because that is very important. I learned that group has a whole lot of a different set of energy. So when we are with the group, I want to thank the group. I want to thank all the Buddha CEO, people who are regularly taking all the efforts to make these regular sessions and helping people like me. So yeah, thanks a lot.
Thank you, Hemajim. Wonderful sharing. Consistency is important, what you have said. Just like how we take bath every day, you might have taken bath for years, but if we stop taking bath, we still gather a lot of dirt. So meditation is like that. Meditation helps us to be, because we are involved in our day-to-day life. Things keep coming at us. For us to cleanse our mind, meditation consistency is important. Great, testimonial from you on that. Spontaneity is another thing that you mentioned. Absolutely. I think as professionals, we all have seen this, so, how to be a lot of planning, a lot of focus on, this is the way it should be done. Many times we miss out on growth opportunity because we are stuck in a way it has to be done. So spontaneity helps us to be in the present and take up things as is, rather than worry too much about, okay, this did not happen based on what I was thinking. And of course, great sharing about your health. Absolutely. I think stress, we don't know how stress develops, but the moment you start practicing meditation, it's the easiest thing that benefit that we get. So thank you for sharing, and I'm sure we'll do a lot more. I know, you looking to do things at your organization as well, and no longer an individual practice. It is something that we want to do it as a group. When we see this benefit, everyone benefits. It helps us back when our teams take it up. So thank you for sharing.
Okay.
Yes, any other thing, Pradeep?
Yeah, a quick announcement, friends. Being a Saturday today, we have an evening masterclass at 5:30 p.m. IST by Loknath on quantum manifestation. So 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. to join. You'll get details in your respective WhatsApp groups, but otherwise available on our website as well. Okay, great. So maybe we can conclude it for today, and see you all tomorrow for the long meditation, Sunday long meditation. Have a nice day. Bye.
Thank you, friends. See you tomorrow.
All that I am Yes, friends. Hope you all had a great session. Wonderful guest sharing. Hemant sir, I've seen him in many of the programs. He just didn't attend 140-day or 121-day program. He was continuously attending. He attended the retreats and all that. That's how he saw many transformative experience, right? So if you have any questions or you want to share, please raise your hand. And tomorrow, being Sunday, it will be a Sunday long meditation. Few minutes of extra time for a meditation session, which is very much needed, at least weekly once. We go for a longer duration of meditation. So please do attend the session tomorrow. So we'll wrap up for today, friends. So heartfelt gratitude. Thank you for all of you to join. Thank you, Saigar.
Jai Radha Madhava, Jai Kunja Vihari, Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jai Girbalihari.
Okay, Jai Shivam, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Saigar. Thank you.